There was a long moment of shocked silence after Michael spoke, as each of the Jaded tried to absorb his words. "He was one of us?" Rowan asked from his chair. "You're certain?" "Why did it never occur to any of us that he wasn't dead?" Galen asked. Darius readjusted his wire-rimmed glasses. "Seriously, perhaps because death seemed the most likely fate when the guards hauled him out of that dungeon never to return. Perhaps because we couldn't think of a reason for him not to be dead." "At the Thistle," Josiah said. "In the stairwell, remember? He said, 'We meet again,' and something about being old friends." "I remarked about it at the time," Michael said, then walked to the study's window and looked out into the night, and then forgot it all like a fool in the days that followed. "It was a vague clue at best," Ash noted. "The bigger hint was that the bastard appeared to know far too much about what happened to us in Bengal." "Sterling," Darius sighed. "We've had a ghost on our heels all this time." "I say we make him a ghost in earnest and sleep in peace tonight," Ash grumbled. Rowan rubbed his temples with a sigh. "No one's arguing that he's not a deadly enemy of us all, but I'm not sure I can plot a cold-blooded murder." "It's not murder, it's justice." The hatred in Ash's voice was as sharp as steel and just as unyielding. "My firstborn lost because of his poisons, and very nearly my Caroline. What's to discuss?" All of them except Michael exchanged looks. Months and weeks of hating a nebulous foe had culminated in this. Their enemy now had a name, and was literally within their reach. But like Shakespeare's Hamlet, the men were learning that even a sense of righteous vengeance couldn't erase all of a man's morals, or his reluctance to personally do the deed. Darius touched his friend's shoulder. "The authorities wouldn't agree, and I don't want to see you hanged for such a worthless man's life, Ash. We have no solid proof of his involvement in anything that's happened to us, not one shred that we could hold up in a court of law as a shield to protect us if this goes wrong." "Darius is right. It's our word against his. I don't think a failed mugging, the random confessions of a murderer who then killed himself, hearsay, and a blind man's recounting of faceless burglars, and an assault on his night watchman, along with—" Galen leaned back with a wry grin as he continued. "Oh yes, how can I forget our involvement in a gambling house fire, and the odd belief that we've been featured in an ancient Hindu prophecy is going to sway a jury, or persuade anyone of anything. Hell, it all just sounds like one of those bad penny novels that Michael enjoys." "Hey," Michael stiffened. "Leave off a man's books." "Hey," Josiah protested with a laugh. "And I resent being characterized as a blind man." "My apologies to you both. I should never judge a book by its presentation, and for a man wearing tinted spectacles at night and using a cane, you can see how one might make the mistake," Galen countered archly. "What were we talking about again?" Josiah tipped his head back against the cushions of his chair with a smile. "God, I love these meetings." "He's here in London? Where exactly in London?" Ash pressed. Michael crossed his arms defensively. "He is here in London, and I'm not giving you his home address, Blackwell. For reasons that should be obvious, I'm not telling any of you any more until I'm ready." "No more secret messages in the papers. No more worrying about where he is or how to draw him out," Ash said. "You found him, and I say we move quickly before whatever advantage we have evaporates." "We still don't know why he wants this sacred treasure, or if he's ultimately the one behind what's happened. If you move too fast, Ash, you could end up forfeiting everything," Darius calmly stated. "The jackal may be on a leash, and we'd be no better off." "He's right." Galen took a sip from his lemon water. "But then Thorne's always right." "Gentlemen," Michael said, turning back to face his friends, "there is no chance of the scales not balancing, but I need you to trust me. I need you to back off while I assess the situation and determine the best course of action. Penny novel or not, we're finally in a position to hold the reins and steer the plot in our direction." Ash's ice-blue eyes narrowed. "It's not a question of trust, Rutherford, but I don't want to hang back and see this snake slink off again." "I won't let him escape," Michael said, his voice like hot stones falling on a drum.